What's up, YouTube? Oh, I forgot.
Do you want me to say this is CJ and you can say this is Sarah?
I don't know. What day is it?
It's time for Keto Conversation.
What's up, YouTube? This is CJ.
And Sarah.
It's a Wednesday, and that means it's time for another Keto
Conversations.
So let's get started. What are we talking about tonight?
We are going to talk about 5 keys to success on keto.
So 5 keys
That's
to
right.
success on keto. All right, you got the notes.
Okay.
I'll let you lead it, and then I'll just throw in stuff.
All right, I'm glad. I like it when you throw in stuff. Okay, so the first key is to keep your keto simple. And I know we talk about this pretty often on our channel.
We do.
Yeah.
We do. Yeah, keep your keto simple. We have a food channel. We give you recipes all the time so you can have variety on keto.
Right.
But we've said this before, we don't eat like that every night.
No.
There's a lot of nights where it's just plain old basic keto stuff. A meat, a vegetable, fat, and
That's right.
And that's it. And so
We don't need to eat gourmet all the time.
because we don't.
No, we do not. We usually will eat whatever recipe we have made for that week, be it a savory meal or a dessert meal, and we
Right.
will eat that during the week.
Right.
But the other days we eat extremely simple. We're talking rotisserie chickens, hamburger patties, pork chops.
Yeah. Tonight we had pork shoulder or something, pork shoulder chop or something,
And salad.
and a salad with blue cheese dressing. So
Yeah, we put a hard-boiled egg on there, if
Yeah.
you want to call that extra fancy. But
yeah. So again, keep your keto simple. Again, we give you recipes so that you can have options to do keto long term, but we're not by any means saying that you have to do those fancy keto dishes all the time. We love for you to be always looking at our channel and pulling
Thinking
off
of
our
ideas.
recipes, but that is not how we do our keto. We do keep our keto simple.
And I also want to add that it is very helpful and important to avoid foods without fat, like chicken breasts, lean meats.
Yeah.
It's important to keep your keto simple, but you also want to make sure that you're being satiated. And so remember to keep your meats higher in fat. Go for the fattier, darker cuts of meat. You're going to be a lot more satisfied. Even though it is still simple, you're going to be getting enough fat and flavor that the simplicity is not going to seem difficult.
Sure. I can't remember the last time we had a chicken breast. It's probably been several years. I mean, maybe when we buy a rotisserie chicken.
Right, sometimes, but it
because
also...
it's a whole chicken, but I
it's
can't...
cooked, they rotisserie it in butter too, and it's got the
butter and
skin,
everything.
so
Right.
sometimes it's not as... But I know that in the past we have had... like even pork chops that weren't the loin part or were not bone in. Occasionally, sirloin chops have been bought and things like that, and there just is not enough fat
Yeah,
on
there's
those
not
cuts
enough
of
fat.
meat. So if you do find that and it is economical, we understand that finding meat is very difficult sometimes right now with the shortages and things.
Sure.
If you do end up having to purchase a leaner cut of meat, cook it in avocado oil, bacon drippings, butter, things like that to add your fat, and even add some after you've cooked it just to make sure that you're getting enough flavor and satiation with your fat to keep you satisfied.
Good point.
All right, so point number 2 is remain mentally motivated. And honestly, it's a little hard sometimes to remain motivated at all at certain times of the year.
Sure.
After everything that we have been going through in
Sure.
the last couple of months, it's hard to remain motivated about anything, actually.
Sure.
So,
Yeah. And that is, it's probably easier said than done, just like you said, especially with what's going on now. I mean, some places we're kind of coming out of it, the whole COVID thing, but you do need to stay motivated and remain motivated because it's going to take time for you to lose weight. If you're trying to lose weight with keto, it's going to take time. If you're trying to do keto to reverse some health conditions, it's going to take time. All that stuff that you might be trying to get rid of didn't happen overnight.
right.
So
And you might notice some
Sure.
physical benefits before you actually notice weight loss.
Sure.
Maybe a diminishing of your aches and pains, a lot of swelling, water weight, that kind of thing. Inches and sizes will probably come before scale weight. That can generally happen on this lifestyle.
And everybody's different. Everybody's different. This is not on the nose, but don't compare yourself to.
And we're going to talk about that later as well.
Okay, don't.
Yeah.
But you do need to stay motivated mentally, and I think part of that also is that if you're going to do keto, then do it.
Dive in.
Yeah,
go in through the deep end and just do it.
And commit to it. Commit to yourself and whatever the goals you have, and just do it.
I do recommend taking your measurements. I regret not doing that when I began the ketogenic lifestyle 4 years ago. Definitely do that because, I mean, here at 100-pound loss for me, if I had taken my inches measurements at the beginning, I'm sure it would have been astronomical for me, and it's definitely a good way to gauge how far you've come. Also, photographs. I know it's really popular, like face-to-face Fridays, those kinds of things where people will take photographs, especially of their face, because sometimes with weight loss, it will start from the top and go down. So a lot of times your face will be the first place that you will see a difference, because there's such a thing as carb face, for sure.
Sure.
Especially here in this area, a low carb ketogenic lifestyle can get rid of that bloated puffiness almost immediately. So definitely I recommend taking some photographs, up close photographs of your face, just so that you can, help yourself along. And those kind of things are going to help you stay motivated.
Yeah, what's next?
Next, we have continue learning about keto, and this is a very important point. I think a lot of times we get really interested in what other people are doing, and once again, comparing ourselves. So sometimes we'll want to know all about what someone, everything they eat in a meal, and what they're doing for exercise, and what supplements they're taking. And I'm not saying that cannot be helpful for you. But keto is a very individual thing. It's going to be different between a man and a woman, between your age, versus being over the age of 40 or being in your 20s. There's going to be a lot of different factors about how this lifestyle will go for you. So if you continue to learn about keto, I suggest reading books, listening to podcasts. Don't ever stop learning.
Yeah, don't stop learning, and don't stop. Make sure you have good knowledge of what keto is, because it's more than just losing weight.
Right.
But you don't know that until you start actually digging into it and get into the science of it and understanding why it works and why other things don't work. But again, a lot of times we jump into things because we've heard about people having success, or we've known people that had success, and that's fine. I mean, that's what I did. I jumped in because Sarah had started,
but you read on your own.
But I did. But after I jumped in, I started reading on my own. I purchased material. I started understanding what I had gotten involved with, or what I was trying to do. So, I mean, there's podcasts out there. There's all kinds of YouTube channels out there.
And the benefits for some of those things are keeping you up to date, because the more popular this lifestyle becomes, people are realizing that it's not a flash in the pan, and more people are seeing the benefits of the ketogenic lifestyle, and so more up-to-date studies are continuing to be done that maybe were not around 3 or 4 years ago. So if you're not continuing,
so we're past the days where keto is a fad,
right?
I don't think people, now of course you might hear some people say that, but again, I've said this before, when you start seeing keto products in your store, your regular stores, it's a real thing. Because
you can order Papa Murphy's keto now.
Yeah, because if major companies are starting to carry keto stuff, or like Papa Murphy's, then they recognize it's a thing that's real, and it's going to stay, because they wouldn't be investing money in something that wasn't.
And advertising, because that's expensive too.
And so keto, we're past the point where this whole, keto's a fad and it's going to pass. again, you might have people that you hear say that to you, but they're just uneducated, and I'll just say that.
Or they're trying to sell you their product.
Right. But I'm just telling you, keto is a real thing, and we're past those days. So know what you've got a hold of, educate yourself so you can be well informed, and you can just know how to do the things that you need to do.
And it can, again, keep you motivated. It can, you might find something that inspires you, or, lights your fire again if you're feeling a little bit down about this lifestyle.
Okay, what else?
So number 4, be patient and trust the process.
Yeah, and that can be hard, especially because a lot of times what happens on keto when you start is you actually have weight loss, a lot of weight loss. I've known people that's happened to me, where you have a lot of weight loss and then it may slow down. And you know what? Believe it or not, that actually happens probably with everything you
Pretty
do.
much any diet plan.
When you're trying to lose weight, you lose a lot, then you slow down, you hit plateaus, and maybe 1 week you lose 1 pound, maybe 1 week you don't lose any. Wow, maybe 1 week you actually gain something, and that's when you have to be patient with the process and understand that it's going to work. I kind of alluded to this earlier. The weight that you're trying to lose, or whatever condition you might be trying to fix or hoping that keto will help you with, it didn't happen overnight. You put that weight on over time, and it's unrealistic to believe that everything's just going to fall off of you just because you're doing keto or anything.
Right. And here comes this point of not comparing yourself to other people. Maybe you see, on the front of a magazine when you're checking out at the grocery store, and somebody lost 100 pounds on the ketogenic lifestyle, and that's great. And maybe that's your goal. But maybe we don't know the full story. Maybe they weighed 400 pounds, so they lost 100 pounds right off the top, but then they still have another 100 pounds to lose.
Sure.
So we don't always know the backstory for this person, and once again, there are differences in age and between males and females. We all have our own personal genetic code that we're working with. Maybe you have underlying health conditions, you're diabetic or pre-diabetic. That is going to create different factors between person to person. So trying not to compare yourself with other people on this journey can be, definitely something.
We have each other to support each other, but I can't compare myself to Sarah. Because her body is different. She hadn't had some of the issues that I had when I started keto. And it would be easy for me to say, well, man, she's lost 100 pounds and blah, blah, blah. And I'm always joking with her that she needs to eat a pork chop or eat a candy bar or something, a real candy bar, not a keto bar. But that's a joke. But it's easy to compare yourself to other people. And so don't do that.
Right.
It's your journey. Your keto journey is your journey. You don't need to be worried about the keto police, or you need to figure out how to do keto for yourself, get your questions answered, and then execute what you learn and what you find out. So. And
there are going to be times on this journey where you think nothing is happening, or it's moving slower than you would like it to happen, like CJ said. But keep in mind that your body is healing. This is not just about weight loss. A lot of times your body will not give up the weight it has stored because, previous to this, we had times where we went without. And so a lot of times your body is trying to heal itself, and then it will feel comfortable to then continue to lose weight. So definitely be patient. Your body knows what it's doing, and it has its own timeline.
Sure. And if you were doing a lot of yo-yo diets before, that can affect...
You have some metabolic damage, for sure.
That can affect... your progress on keto as well. So just be patient, keep in mind, and trust the process. Keto will work.
Yes.
Keto will work for you. You might need to make adjustments from time to time, but keto will work if you trust the process.
Okay. And our last point, which you already touched on, is seek out support. We do have each other, and that is wonderful. We have each other for support. We are in this together. We are practicing this together.
Sure.
But if you don't have that, we're here to support you, of course. There's lots of Facebook communities, local communities. There's a lot of online support. Once again, there's podcasts, books. A lot of people have success stories. You can find success stories if you need some motivation. We are still caring for loved ones that aren't fully practicing the ketogenic lifestyle. So we still do have to prepare a certain amount of food and things like that for people who aren't practicing our lifestyle. So it's not always easy.
Sure.
You know, sometimes it can be difficult. You know, we're still buying and preparing a certain amount of carby foods. So
yeah. But after a while, even when you have to do that, you get to the point where it doesn't even matter.
Whatever, it doesn't even sound good, smell good.
It doesn't.
It honestly probably doesn't taste the way you
and believe me,
think it
and some of you might say, well, geez, I can't believe that. But actually, it will happen to you if you stick with this process long enough. Again, we make recipes to give you options so that you can continue long term.
Right.
So that's the whole point behind the recipes. But if you, after you start realizing that there is a wide variety of things that you can have, you actually will get to the point where you don't miss a lot of the stuff that you think you're going to miss.
I remember a couple of specific instances when I first started the ketogenic diet. I'd probably been on it a couple of months. And I think it was like one of those, you know, like Hostess, the little donuts, the chocolate covered donuts, and one of my children had that, and I'm like, okay, well, I want one. So I'll just factor it into my carb allotment for the day or whatever. You know, this was like 3 years ago.
I've never heard this story before. Wow.
Put it in my mouth.
Wow.
Took a bite of it.
Mm-hmm.
Put it in my mouth, chewed it up, and said, nope. It tasted like wax, like brown wax.
Yeah.
It did not taste the way I imagined it would taste, or the way it had tasted before I started eating like this. Because you tell yourself, oh, I miss this or I miss that. I can pretty much guarantee you put that in your mouth and you're going to be like, no, that doesn't taste good anymore.
I mean, I've got a similar story with French fries.
Mm-hmm.
You know, most people love French fries from McDonald's because they have the salt.
Especially when they're hot.
And
if they're
hot. I'm telling you, once you do this lifestyle for a while, you eat a French fry from McDonald's, actually a French fry from anywhere, and they don't taste
You're like, why did I think that was so
anything.
good?
I'm just telling you, actually, when I think about that, it kind of reminds me of the whole thing in The Matrix about how do we know what
the steak versus the oatmeal.
Yeah, how do we know what the steak really tastes like? You know, but anyway, that's another thing. If you're a Matrix fan, you'll get what I'm talking about. But anyway. You can, if you seek out support for people, there's all kinds of people. We have a Facebook group. But there's all kinds of Facebook groups. There's groups that we belong to.
Right. And if it doesn't fit you and you don't like what they're saying or like what they're doing or what they're espousing, find another one. You're not obligated to stay.
There's hundreds
find what you need.
Of thousands of groups out there, Facebook, and there's all kinds of stuff on. Now Reddit, I'm not on Reddit as much, but there's stuff on Reddit if you're a Reddit person.
Yeah.
So there's all kinds of communities out there there's even local communities where people are, you know, doing keto, and you know, believe it or not, we used to be able to meet up and talk to people.
And we will again. But
until
that time, I'm sure they have other ways they're supporting each other, Zoom and you know those kinds of things.
So there's ways for you to find support. And again, as Sarah mentioned, we're here to support you. I mean, I think we do a very good job, or you do. I'm not going to take any credit. I might answer one comment every 2 weeks. You do a very good job of answering comments.
I try.
And interacting with people. And we do that on purpose. We do that on purpose because we are trying to foster a sense of community, because we do really believe that we can all be successful in keto together. So yeah, we're here to support you, but it's important for you to find the support you need. And then this is not on here. I'm going to say this. Don't beat yourself up if you don't do everything perfect with keto.
There's no such thing.
Yeah, don't beat yourself up. This is a kind of a bonus thing, but don't beat yourself up. I mean, even in the times we're in right now, if you started keto and then all this stuff piled on you, stopped, or you slid back or whatever, let it go and just do what you need to do the next day to get back on track, and don't beat yourself up, because you can have success on keto. It will work for you. It works for people, and
you might be the support that someone else needs. You never know.
Yeah, I know a lot of times you'll be surprised at how many people look at you and they say, wow, Sally lost whatever. Right. Or she even looks, we've heard stories about people going to parties with their spouses and somebody thinks that
they got divorced
they got
and there was someone
divorced
else.
and they're bringing their hoochie mama with them to the party, and it's their wife that they don't even recognize because she's lost so much weight because of keto. So anyway, those things can happen. That can happen for you. But again, if you for some reason haven't had success, or you failed, or you feel like you failed, that's all in your head. You can fix that. Tomorrow's a new day. You can move on, and don't beat yourself up for not being perfect every day and perfect all the time. So we got anything else?
That's it.
Okay. So if you're new here, this is our Keto Conversation segment. We do this every Wednesday. We do new recipes every Sunday. Although Sarah says that we should probably say that they really come out on Saturdays.
CJ's been on fire as far as the editing.
But I'm going to always say that they come out on Sunday because when we first started this YouTube thing, it used to take me 8-9 hours to do a video.
You use that as a blanket.
And so it's a kind of a window now.
But that's also another reason why it's important to hit the notification bell.
Yes,
because
good
then
point.
YouTube will notify you if our video has gone up on Saturday night.
We try to get our videos up by 9 o'clock East Coast time.
Right.
So that's our plan, but we will always say that we do. For sure, you can count on a new video every Sunday.
But if you do hit the bell, it will come across your phone or your email and let you know that it's there.
So if you're new here, consider subscribing. We'd love to have you as part of our keto family. We do believe that we can all help each other be successful on keto and improve our health, lose weight, and just have a great life together. So we hope that you have a good rest of the week, and we will talk at you later. Bye-bye.
Peace.